Today on Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook, we join Wade on the water as we focus on a specific type of bait that's easy to cast and can pay off with great success. We're of course talking about the crankbait. Crankbaits come in all sizes and cover everything from the shallowest water you can find all the way to the deepest depths you can fish for bass. Bass anglers who understand how to not only choose from all the different crankbait styles, but also how and when to fish them, are often the envy of all their fishing peers. For most anglers, it's often overwhelming when trying to choose a crankbait. Do they fish one that wobbles wildly or one that really doesn't wiggle much at all? Should they choose the bright yellow one, or what about that red one over there? Now, which size? That big old bait with the giant bill? Or how about that small one over there? Wow, choosing the right crankbait might just give you a headache. Let's hear from Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook host Wade Middleton on his thoughts on crankbaits, and let's see how he picks one and fishes with it.
You know, crankbaits are something as a kid that I can remember opening up that old 3-tier tackle box, and there was crankbaits in there, different colors, different sizes, and I always just liked the way they feel, and I always liked the way that they caught fish. You know, I could throw it out as a little kid and wind it in. I didn't know any better and catch a few fish. I thought they were a magic bait. They did all the work for you. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that crankbaits, there's so much more to them, from the colors, from the sizes, from the actions, and different things there. And one of the biggest reasons I like to throw crankbaits is they catch fish from super cold water all the way to, you know, warm time, the warmest water of the summer. So they are one of the most versatile bass fishing baits that you can find once you understand the different actions, the different colors, and the different subtleties that each one of these baits that are at your Cabela sporting goods store offers. I mean, there's just so many different ones, but they catch them all year long. Boy, he ate it. There's one right there. Good one. Good one. Good one. Come here, buddy. Stay on there. Well, I hopped it off that rock and that fish just, he couldn't resist the old rock crawler. Come here. Come here, buddy. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's what I'm talking about right there. You know, color selections when it comes to crankbaits, you know, a lot of times what a guy needs to be thinking about are what bass feeding on at that given time of the year. Is it threadfin shad? Well, let's get something that mimics the color of a shad. Is it bluegill? Well, let's mimic those bluegill. Is it crawfish? Let's use something that's going to have kind of a crawfish color, or some kind of a, you know, something that's going to be similar in what a crawfish looks like at that time of the year. And if you'll do that, you're already a little bit ahead of the game. You're matching the forage that the bass are feeding on. Other things to keep in mind when it comes to choosing the right color for a crankbait are the water color itself. Is it, you know, going to be heavily stained and you're throwing a square bill up shallow, say? If you're doing that, then I like to throw something that's, you know, more yellow color. Other things I'll pay attention to are actually sunlight penetration and trying to match some of the conditions there. I've had some great fishing trips where I've gone out in cloudy, dark, dank conditions and thrown like a chartreuse blueback crankbait. It didn't mimic anything forage-wise that's in that fishery that I was fishing it on. However, what it did was allowed it to be very visible in the watercolor and with the conditions I had overhead. And I mean, the reaction bite was phenomenal that day. So what I always try to keep in mind, first and foremost, match my colors of my crankbaits to the forage base that's out there. Secondly, I pay attention to the watercolor and the quality there and the conditions in the sun. And then I use finally my little bit of intuition on what I think I need to be throwing when it comes to colors, because within each of those colors that we've talked about, there's lots of different spectrums, there's lots of different hues. You know, the back may be one color, maybe black in some, maybe blue in the other, and then the body may be silver. So paying attention to everything and a little bit of your intuition, a little bit of that gut feeling will help you pick the colors that are going to help you be more successful when it comes to crankbait fishing.
More on crankbaits when the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook returns.
Fish on! After your next successful fishing trip, savor the flavor with a Bradley Smoker. They have a whole list of creative recipes for catch with a wide variety of delicious smoky wood flavors. Find out more about making your meal as memorable as the fishing trip at BradleySmoker.com.
The world's best fishing line is now available in the United States. Sunline FX2, the strongest braid available.
This braid, I'll absolutely love it.
After all my years of searching, I finally busted the myth of the Yeti! The Angle High Performance Cooler, it's incredible! Just look at this lid, what a powerhouse! It's so freaking strong, so reliable, I just wanna boom! This silicone gasket's better than rubber!
Why, hello there. Are your base and sidewalls way thicker for superior insulation?
Oh, yes! After 10 days, still cold, still fresh. Let's see a Yeti do that. With Angle Coolers, it's official. The Yeti is busted.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Because now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all's sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Cabela's. It's in your nature. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time. Yamaha Marine, reliability starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. We're focusing on crankbaits here on Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook. We've already discussed the importance of colors. Now let's hear from Wade on choosing the right retrieve.
When it comes to retrieve speeds and how to retrieve a crankbait to get a reactionary bite, boy, there's a lot of variables there that I always keep in mind. What time of year is it? Is the water temperature cold? Is the water temperature warm? Are the fish very aggressive, and can I get away with something that's banging into the bottom and reeling real fast, or do I need to throw it out there and kind of slowly pause it and slowly reel it again, maybe even pull it with my rod? The thing that I always keep in mind is taking some of that past experience based on the conditions and what I think the fish are doing and what they're feeding on and how that's going to be reacting, the bass is going to react to it. Then I'll mix up the subtleties. And once I get a bite, say I'm reeling and stopping, I want to try to continue to do that again. I want to try to mimic that every time. That reel speed, that twitch, that slowing it down, that speeding it up, maybe pulling it, bouncing it into something, that's what triggered that reaction from that bass. And if I can recreate that time and time again, I'm going to catch more fish. In a cold water cranking situation, and I'll use a specific time I was on Lake Texoma, we unloaded the boat, the water temperature was, below 50 degrees. And, in those types of situations, I think you almost have to get that fish to react to the bite. And each time is a little bit different, but when I'm looking for that type of reaction bite, I like to find some rock, maybe some riprap or an old boat ramp, and I can throw my crankbait up on that onto that boat ramp or that riprap and then crawl it down through there. Think about an old crawfish kind of hopping and skirting around some of those rocks out there and what they do. And then all of a sudden it comes off of a drop off, or it comes off of the boat ramp, the end of a boat ramp, and triggers that incredible reaction strike. And up on Lake Texoma one day, that's exactly what I was looking at. Had a boat ramp that came in, there was a drop off at the end of it, and I'm throwing that crankbait up there. And I was expecting to catch 1 or 2 bass off of this spot. Well, sure enough, on one side of there's probably no rock, maybe somebody threw it down there, whatever it was, I felt it bounce off that rock, and the next thing I knew, one was shaking his head and hooked up on the end of the line. There's one right there. God, you can see him on the graph down there coming up. He's getting ready to jump. He's gonna jump. God, you can watch him actually go up and jump. Now he's going back down under the boat. Wow. Good bass. too cool. You talk about a tool. Nice fish. He choked on that rock crawler. Look at that. Look where he's got that bait in his mouth. Yeah, come here. That's a good one. That's a good one. Wow. Oh, that's pretty amazing. What a pretty bass right there. He just loaded up on it. Yeah, we'll let him go.
The bait that Wade was using was Spro's rock crawler crankbait, designed by Mike McClellan. The wide wobbling hunting action of the rock crawler's deflection ability can bounce off of cover like no other lure to trigger aggressive strikes.
Hey everyone, Mike McClellan, Spro Professional here, and had the opportunity to work with Spros on a couple of different projects. And I mean, the rock crawler that we released just this last year has been a tremendous success. I mean, probably one of the coolest things about this bait is the simple fact that I grew up on Table Rock, Bull Shoals, Grand Lake, those lakes that those mid-depth diving, crawfish imitating crankbaits have always been a big, big part of my arsenal. There's been a number of different baits that I've thrown through the course of just fishing and my career that have done a lot for my career, done a lot for me, and given me the opportunity to win Table Rock last year. And that was the biggest reason that we came forward with this rock crawler project. You know, there's a lot of those crankbaits that wouldn't do specific things that I wanted those baits to do. I mean, one of the biggest things was the depth zone. And I really believe that you're able to reach fish with the rock crawler that we really were never able to touch with that size crankbait. So that's a big, big factor. That bait will catch them just about border to border, coast to coast. It probably shines the most on any body of water that's got sand, rock, gravel, things like that in it. But when it comes to throwing that bait, any place you've got those transition areas, even grass lakes sometimes, cranking the edge of hydrilla and things like that, the bait's buoyant enough that when you do hit grass, you can, you know, snap it, pop it free, and it'll float back up. And it's a bait that even in those situations you can catch them on. So I suggest you get you some rock crawlers and put them to work.
The Fisherman's Handbook crew trusts Ranger boats to get them to and from their favorite spots on the water. Let's put your Ranger knowledge to the test. Introduced in December of 2012, which Ranger series has become the fastest growing line within its class? For the answer to this, or to find out more about Ranger boats, visit mydreamrig.com.
Hobie's Mirage Drive kayaks set the standard for fun on the water. Whether your passion is fishing, sailing, or recreational adventure, Hobie's got a kayak for you. Hobie's Mirage Drive mimics nature's proven designs for efficient and powerful propulsion and enhances your kayaking experience. Mirage Power, Mirage Performance, Mirage Drive. Hobie, enjoy the ride.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
Gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
The world's best fishing line is now available in the United States.
That's a toad.
Sunline Super Fluorocarbon, with strength to guarantee your confidence.
Arctic Ice loves the outdoors. Wherever your next adventure takes you and your cooler, use Arctic Ice to keep your food and drinks cold and dry. It's also great for keeping live wells cool, so fish and bait stay healthy. You can even keep frozen food or game frozen for days. Cold or frozen, Arctic Ice has got you covered. 3 brands of Arctic Ice let you choose the temperature you want for your cooler. You never have to buy ice again. Watch the videos at arctic-ice.com. Check out our new Chill and Brew Team Sport colors, great for tailgating. Remember, it's not just ice, it's Arctic Ice.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Sawyer Products. We keep you outdoors. Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy. Hydrowave, ignite a feeding frenzy.
Another instance in my mind that comes to mind with crankbait fishing that was real interesting. You know, we were running around on Wilson Lake in Alabama, really struggling to get a bite. Was swimming jigs through the grass, was throwing topwaters around bulkheads, was throwing worms around other places and couldn't get a bite. Well, it's always in my mind that someplace, somewhere, there's a bass biting. In this particular instance, what we ended up finding was kind of an old shell bed is what we think it was out there off of the river channel that was coming through there. And I made repetitive casts to the exact same spot. And when I was able to make that repetitive cast with the retrieve that I was using, which was basically reeling it down and pulling it into that, what I believe was shell, and then kind of tugging it along, those fish began reacting to it. And by making that same cast over and over and being able to mimic that exact same thing on Wilson Lake there, I was able to get quite a few bites in a row, and it turned what was an otherwise slow day into a memorable day because I had tried all these other techniques with only a couple of bites and a couple of, a couple of fish, and then all of a sudden, hit one wad, was able to recreate it over and over, which is something you can really do with a crankbait. Next thing you know, I was talking about how great a day of fishing I had. I had forgotten the 8 hours of mundane nothing, and the crankbait turned it into a pretty fun trip. You know, we're just kind of out here cranking and dragging around on an old shelf trying to see if we can't find something that'll get bit. You know, when you can find the mother lode on some of these offshore structure areas, it can really get exciting. There he is right there. Good one. That's a good one right there. God, I only got about 3 cranks in there, and that fish just smoked it. You know, that's the thing about this offshore stuff. It can be thousands of casts till you really get them fired up. And then once you get them biting, you need to catch this one and then unhook him and then get right back out there while the school's going and fire it up the best that you can. Get right back out there, see if you can catch another one right there. That fish lit it up fast. You know, you see people when they're fishing, a lot of times they want to hold it up, take pictures and everything. That's great, but I'm a believer when you get them biting, you keep them suckers biting as fast and furious as you can, and then you really try to do the boat control thing and keep your boat off that. I've actually getting my trolling motor. It's a little too deep right here to probably put the power poles down. Another good one. Oh man, he ate that sucker good. I might get the pliers out, get him off there. Nice little chunker. Let's see if we can catch another one real quick. Because I mean, that's back-to-back casts. We've got them fired up and wanting to keep biting. There he is. That's a better one there. That's a better one right there. Oh man, that's fun. That is fun. About the same size as the others. But man, they are eating it. These are some chunky fish. We're on Lake Wilson here in Alabama. We really like it over here. We come over here in this area quite often. We do a collegiate event over here. There's obviously a lot of major tournaments over in this area as well. And there's a reason why. These lakes are just full of fish. And fishermen like it. Now these Tennessee River lakes, you know, they are famous for ledge fishing. I mean, that is kind of what they're known for.
Right about where we're throwing should be. There's
Oh man, he hit mine too. I lost mine.
Oh wow.
The ultimate predator has evolved again. Now, Yamaha VMAX SHO Performance is prowling the waters in 4 hungry, exciting new models. With their 4 valves per cylinder and double overhead cam fuel-injected design, these advanced 4-stroke predators are taking performance to a whole new level. Vicious, lean, efficient. VMAX SHO. The pack is growing.
At Amphibia, we've resolved to build a product that nobody else offers, using methods that nobody else is using, optimized for life on water and land. The choice of top bass fishing pros. Amphibia frames are designed to fit comfortably no matter how your face is shaped, to stay firmly in place through your most physical activities, and to float in water. Amphibia sunglasses are truly designed for life on the water.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra-wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
Gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
After your next successful fishing trip, savor the flavor with a Bradley Smoker. They have a whole list of creative recipes for catch with a wide variety of delicious smoky wood flavors. Find out more about making your meal as memorable as the fishing trip at BradleySmoker.com.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Arctic Ice. We put the cool in coolers. Spro, Sports Professionals. And by Sunline America, the strength to guarantee your confidence.
You know, one of my favorite times to fish crankbaits is in the pre-spawn. I love the fact that I can get out there in water that's 12 foot to maybe 5 and find cover or find a grass bed and make repetitive casts, and you know, on secondary points or on places that the fish are stacked up ready to spawn. And when I can do that and I've identified the proper bait, generally speaking for me at that time of the year, it's going to be something crawfish related. It is one of the funnest ways to catch them because you can just simply catch them cast after cast.
And that's exactly what Wade and his friend and former FLW pro, Mike Hawks, did on a private pond last year.
I've been waiting for a real calm day to come out here with a wake bait and watch it just annihilate it, you know, just right about where we're throwing should be. There's
oh man, he hit mine too. I lost mine.
Oh wow. Oh, I lost
there, he
mine.
hit mine
I
again.
lost mine too.
I got mine that time. He came back and got it.
There's a hole right there. If we can kind of stay off of it, I think we can throw it there again.
They're not mine.
Get another one.
Look at that. Oh, he got away. I like that.
Good. You didn't have to unhook him. That's the best part.
I can get another strike. Wow.
There he is. Right there in that hole.
Yeah. I got a little too close to it. Look at that.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Coming your
Jumping
way,
Rusty. Oh,
Rusty.
my Lord. Yeah, he's going to get down the grass.
Left,
he's in the grass now.
Got him.
Got him?
Yeah. Right here with you.
I got to get this one out of the grass.
There was another one just swam off the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, get off there, fish. Don't jump up there and get Mike. He tried. This is pond fishing at its best.
That's right. This is the way fishing's supposed to be fun, you know. It's not supposed to be one of those deals where you got to go out there and sweat. And
yep.
I'm
gonna have to change
all day long. You're trying to get 2 bites and that garbage.
This makes it fun when you can just throw out there and catch them. You know, these are fun bass. This is what you think of when you think of a private pond somewhere that not getting the pressure. You're just gonna get a lot of bites.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish.
I'll let you grab the trolling motor and
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
have
get
to
it.
get the,
I'll get it.
I'll have to get the, come here, buddy. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that one there.
Oh, that's a nice bass. Yes, sir.
One of the biggest things about crankbait fishing and why I like it so much is you can catch fish on a crankbait 12 months out of the year. You can catch them when it's super cold and you can catch it when it's incredibly warm. You just have to understand all the subtleties, all the differences, and why you choose one bait when it's super cold and maybe why you use a different one when it's really warm. Why you throw this bait when it's a foot of water up there that the fish are living in, and why you throw this one when it's 20 plus. So as you become a better crankbait fisherman and as you understand many of the other subtleties that are out there and can pick the right baits for the right situation, you'll quickly learn why crankbait fishing is one of my favorite ways to go bass fishing.
For any of the products seen used on today's show, visit Cabelas.com.
We're having an issue here. Failure to tighten our reel down good enough has cost us a bass, unless he is really hooked good. He's still on there and our reel has come loose. We're gonna land him this way. Use the rod in the reel and winch him in. I'm glad you're not 9 pounds, buddy, because we'd be having challenges right now. I didn't get my reel tightened all the way down and it came off the seat. Hey, you'll take a bass and a bite any way you can get him.